This is Calvin T. Shepard, Director of Safe House 1618, and you're listening to the IndieEye Film Awards podcast.
You are now listening to the IndieEye Film Awards podcast.
Welcome to the IndieEye Film Awards podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Dre.
And we are here to discuss the winners and submissions, some submissions from October of 2022. How are you doing, Dre?
I'm good.
Happy Halloween.
Okay. It's not my favorite.
Wow. Not in the Halloween spirit.
No, I'm in the fall spirit. You can say happy fall. And I'd say
happy holidays.
Thanks. No, you could also say Merry Christmas. Because we're going to do Christmas real soon.
Well, speaking of holidays and Halloween, I'm going to use this platform because it's my show to tell everyone to go check out on YouTube the channel Tazawa Tanks. Go check out his Scary Things video that dropped on Saturday, the 29th. It'd be his most recent video if you're listening to this anytime here in October.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, I'm super proud because I did most of the shooting for that.
Well, and the
all
production.
Of the shooting,
yeah,
production,
I mean, came up with
editing.
the idea.
I'm the editor for that channel. Although next week it won't be a video that I edited. Yeah. So I just wanted to use my platform to tell everyone to go check out Zenzo's new video. It's a fish keeping channel. I'm kind of into fish keeping on the side, and I get to edit for Tazawa Tanks and Girl Talks Fish. So those are channels that I do work for, but I'm really happy with our Scary Things video that dropped today. So if you get some time, go check it out and see if you can find the Eddie Munson Easter egg that exists in that video. Okay, but I got to get some housekeeping out of the way here. We've got some news for you regular.
I feel like you need to put your, shuffle your papers on your desk. Some news.
I'll get, here's my.
Yeah. And do exactly. Yeah, that's what you need.
And now for the rest of the story. Shout out to Paul Harvey, R.I.P. We're going to try to do this podcast episode here without edits, so it may get rough. Please stay with us. We're actually planning to drop IndieEye as early as possible, earlier than listed for this month, because we got some things that came up that we've got to get to, so we're going to rip through this, but we need to let everybody know that IndieEye for December will not have a regular episode. We are not going to do a monthly competition for December of 2022.
Yeah.
Now,
Festival is on vacay.
Yes. Well, we are going to have our annual award show.
Yeah.
That's absolutely going to be there. So if you've submitted anything to IndieEye over 2022, we'll definitely have the annual awards. That should be fun. If you haven't checked out last year's annual awards, there's a little bit more production value involved there, but we had some fun. And we'll also have a few very cool bonus episodes that will drop with the annual awards. And hopefully, if things go well for us through the next 30 plus days, we will drop all of that mid-month in December. So it will be even earlier than we normally are. And we'll try to put updates about that on Instagram so that if you're tracking along with IndieEye, you'll know when those episodes are going to drop. I would love to tell you some of the names I have for bonus episodes.
You can't tease any of it.
I'll tease one.
Yeah. What if you gave a little clue? And maybe let people guess in the comments.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right.
This is off the cuff. I don't know.
Well, I hate to say too much about recordings that aren't in the can, but
no, of course.
Even though they're scheduled.
I was thinking of the one that was already in the can.
Yeah, I will talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's a clue for one of our bonus episodes for December. Subscribe to Beyond the Screenplay on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. check out Beyond the Screenplay. You can also go over to the YouTube channel Lessons from the Screenplay and check out. There's so much stuff there. Everyone listening should be consuming, from Beyond the Screenplays podcast, the Lessons from the Screenplay YouTube channel. I mean, these are mini master classes.
It's free education.
It's free education in writing and filmmaking. But that will be my one tease for our December bonus episodes. But also,
leave a comment if you're watching the YouTube video or listening to it on YouTube. Leave a comment, and your award for winning will be that you left a comment on this video.
Okay. All right.
Cool. We're all good.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, smash it,
guys.
but not so hard that you can't smash it again next time.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No edits.
Also, talking about bonus episodes, I will tell you that there's a bonus episode dropping on November 2nd featuring Caleb Pike.
Oh, so you are name dropping. All right.
From DSLR Video Shooter on YouTube. And yes, that's an outdated name. Nobody actually uses a DSLR anymore. Aside from photographers that are still clinging to that dinosaur. I mean, there are people using, that's fine. But he created the channel long ago, before mirrorless.
And when you get real big like Caleb is, you just don't go changing your name.
You can't. No, so if you're not familiar with the name Caleb Pike, go check him out on YouTube. You can search Caleb Pike, Pike, or you can search DSLR Video Shooter, and you can go to DSLRvideoshooter.com. The man, and we'll get into a lot of this on the episode, but the man has camera guides and production guides. I mean, and he dropped a little nugget about something that's coming soon, but he provides these gorgeous, thorough, but so easy to consume guides about specific cameras that the value is insane for what he's charging for these guides. And with the work that's been put into creating them, it's practically nothing. He's practically giving them away, in my opinion. So Caleb Pike, he is on YouTube. He does a lot of DIY type gear stuff. He's
reviews,
done
right?
Camera reviews, lighting examples. He's been a fundamental supporter of freelance videography, indie filmmaking for way too long now. So I did get to have a conversation with Caleb, and that will drop on November 2nd. So that's an episode for late October, an episode for early November.
And that's an IndieEye.
It's an IndieEye bonus episode.
So just, make sure you're subscribed.
Yes.
So that you don't miss it.
What else did I want to talk about going on here? I think that's it. We're going to skip the what are you watching? We're trying to get to people's films here.
Because that is what we're watching.
And there was an abundance of quality this month and some things I'm really excited to talk about. But I'm going to get everybody together in a huddle because we're all friends here. And I'm going to tell you a lot about what I saw this month. I'm going to try to help some filmmakers who may not get their projects selected or their names dropped on this particular podcast. A very, very, very important thing. You don't think it's important, and by the time you get to this point, you probably don't want to do anything else. But it's important that if you're going to submit a project via Film Freeway, that you fill out your project pages, that you have some sort of social media to link to, images. The bare bones thing you can do is have a proper poster created.
Yeah.
That's not that hard. Or any sort of imagery for your film. If you're going to go through all the trouble of conceiving a film, writing it, going through production, going through post, and then you're going to spend money submitting through Film Freeway, fill out the damn page, people.
I am surprised that stuff is not even required. Like, it shouldn't even... Film Freeway, why do they make it optional? It's,
Film Freeway wants your money. They want your
that's
money.
true.
They
They
want
don't-
our money.
they don't care.
They're a business.
Yeah.
You know, that what people do.
well, hey, so are we.
Right. Well, what people do is on them. So that's why,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're here. It's just trying to help
Yeah.
people who are creating these indie films. We're giving you the feedback from behind the scenes
Yeah.
of a film festival.
You got to do it
Fill
all.
out your project pages. But don't make your overviews and your director statements and everything incredibly wordy. The cover letter option is not where you write the entire thoughts you've ever had on life. A cover letter is to be short, and in our case, if you're submitting for specific categories, you want to name the people involved in those categories. I'm submitting for Best Actor, and my submission is
Jane Doe.
Jane Doe. And you know, dear Film Festival, thanks for the opportunity to submit my project titled blank. We filmed it on an iPhone in 10 minutes. You know? Quick little thing that might, you know, make your film interesting. What's the interesting thing about your film? And then, you know, per our rules on our page, on our festival page, it says, please stay off my damn grass. No, it says,
My friggin' grass.
if you got that reference, leave it in the comments. If, what am I trying to say? I'm so flustered.
Our cover letters are mandatory. If you are going to submit for a category and you don't have a cover letter telling us who the actor is, or we're not going to pick it.
We just got to pass.
We're not
it
going to
up.
guess.
Yeah. So this tells me a lot of things. It tells me that my fellow filmmakers out there,
For this month.
well, no, in general,
That's true. That's
since
true.
we've been
Okay.
running,
That's true.
It tells me that you're not being very selective about which film festivals you're submitting to. I understand the urge to shotgun submissions to 1,000 festivals and see what you get. But read the rules. Put yourself in the best position to place in a film festival by making sure you understand that festival, you know what that festival's looking for, and if there's any idiosyncrasies you may have to adjust your submission for, and not your content, but your actual submission. Such as adding a cover letter or some sort of note about who you are nominating in a category. Just read, people. Find out what is this I'm submitting to. Make sure your I's are crossed and your T's are dotted. Okay?
or the opposite of that.
But don't make it too wordy. Another thing about us,
Hey, listen, be perfect, okay?
just be perfect.
Just do it right.
Well, and I say this because, not because I want everyone to conform to my rules.
No.
I say it because you're in a competition.
Yep.
And if you're not following the rules, quote unquote, you're putting yourself at the bottom already. There will be people who did do the things, and they also have good content.
Yeah.
So
That's the whole package. That's what we're looking
don't
for.
give people, festivals, reviewers, submission people, festival directors, don't give them a reason to already put a strike against your project. I'm not saying this for us. I'm saying it for you and the next festival you submit to.
I'm not saying this for me, it's for you.
Okay. All right.
Also another reference from the same movie we referenced before.
Well, sort of. Another thing about your indie films, people. No fake crying. Don't do fake cry. If there are no authentic tears, or you haven't even gone through the trouble of misting somebody's eyes, or may put some Visine in, make the eyes water a little bit if they really can't dig and pull out the emotion,
Yeah, chop an onion, man.
don't do the fake crying. Someone can be emotional. An actor can be emotional and still convey that emotion without the fake cry sound or the quivering voice of some sort. That is just one of the things that I hate most. And I catch it in regular TV and in movies and everything. don't do the fake cry. Because if you're not actually tearing up, I know. People know. The audience knows. We know what it looks like when somebody cries.
Plus, I mean, remember, this is an indie film, so we're already kind of like on the level of we're not totally invested in these characters because they're usually very short and there's usually a lot of problems that we're already kind of dealing with. So it comes across even more fake when, you know, we're already dealing with, I don't want to say lower quality acting, but, you know, I mean, amateur acting, I guess.
Well, and if your screenplay calls for crying, specifically crying, to make sure there's a reason somebody's crying, if your screenplay does call for that, directors, you have to cast for that. Casting is directing.
Yeah.
You have to cast that person who can bring that out on demand. So you go through auditions, you go through this, and you make sure this person can deliver that emotional impact. Because if you do have somebody crying in your film, that's probably a significant opportunity for emotional impact on your audience. And if you don't pull it off, that's on you as the director. It's not the actor's fault. It's the director's fault, because casting is directing. The other thing I'm going to say to people before we get to these awards is, with your project page on Film Freeway, you can upload your film to Film Freeway. You can link a YouTube channel or YouTube video,
Okay.
a Vimeo video. You can make those private, you know, so or unlisted or password protected for Vimeo's sake. What you don't want to do is send Dropbox or Google Drive links. Number one, I ain't clicking them. I'm not clicking your stranger link, okay? And I realize, you know, probably this happening on Film Freeway is, it's probably going to be safe and okay, but I'm not clicking a link to go to your Dropbox or your Google Drive to watch your film.
Well, because then wouldn't you have to download it to your own computer?
You can watch preview versions and stuff, but basically, you don't make it harder.
Yeah.
Don't make it harder.
Yeah, you should have that. That file should live somewhere that you can upload it directly.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and plus, if you do something like a Vimeo, if you have your file on Vimeo and you share the link onto Film Freeway, you can password protect it. Yeah. But then you get some better analytics, and you can make sure that these film festivals are watching your content.
That's
and
true.
It'll give you a little bit of feedback on the traffic being driven to your film. Those are my suggestions, people, and that kind of goes for a lot of things. We did have a filmmaker submit multiple projects this month, and I'm going to talk about this right now. I hadn't really planned to, but this particular filmmaker, he's a young guy. And if he's listening, I'm going to tell him right now, I don't think we have no awards for this gentleman.
Yeah.
But all of his submissions, there were 3, will be official selections. I haven't actually gone through and done that yet, but by the time, if he's listening to this podcast, he'll know that his projects were official selections because they were completed submissions.
Yeah.
And they're all okay.
Yeah, they're on the cusp.
They really are. They really are. And what I want to say, having watched all 3 of them, 3 submissions now, I want to tell this person, absolutely keep going. The more you do, the better you're going to get. And the feedback I specifically have, just as a whole here, is that things can be shorter.
Yep.
Care more about your sound. And there needs to be, like, there was one particular submission that it should have been funny, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And while, you know, comedy's subjective, but there were so many editing choices that I didn't understand in that film. And I'll just say specifically towards the end of this film, and this director's listening, he knows which one was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
He knows the ending of that film. And it's the very ending of it just drags out so long it made me angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, even with this, even as we have somebody walking down a street at the end, that's when maybe you start cueing your closing credits music.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have your outside sound going on.
Yeah.
Maybe you do go to black and go to credits, but have that outside sound still rolling instead of just the cut off of the audio and then quiet credits. You could do that. I mean, use sound design. You know what I'll say? I'll throw back to what I started out this podcast with. Go to Tazawa Tanks. Mm-hmm. Go to that YouTube channel and look at the last video I edited for Zenzo on Tazawa Tanks. It's called Scary Things. Well, I think he titled it 5 Scary Things That Can Happen to Your Fish Aquarium or something like that. And put headphones on and listen to that. Listen to that 11-minute video.
11?
11 minutes.
11 exactly?
Well, YouTube added a second.
What? How rude.
Yeah. So the whole thing was obviously a kind of a nod to Stranger Things, and I tried to make it exactly 11 minutes, which the render was.
Yeah, it was.
But YouTube added a second, but it's fine. But I worked so hard on the sound design.
11:001.
But it's 11:01.
It's 11:01.
Yeah.
Oh.
There are
Yes,
some
there are.
011 and 001 Easter eggs also
Yes, there are.
in that video. But what I'm saying is go listen to the sound design. Put good headphones on and listen to the sound design that's going on during that whole video. There's stuff there that's just you would never catch probably if you're watching it on your phone.
Yeah.
But everything's there to support the narrative.
Yeah.
So, this is just another example of use that sound design like you're using your camera. It's more important than your camera. You can keep somebody engaged with that sound design. And since I'm always harping on these longer short films, like I can't, how many times have I said, your film's too long. Your short film is too long. The 30-minute, the 40-minute submissions, and though we do have an exception this month.
We do.
They're too long. How do I know this? Ask me how I know. Because I've made 2 long short films. And what we're going to do this month, I asked Dre to put a link on the winners page underneath this podcast for a short film I made in 2014 called A Special Place. And if you want to do some extracurricular homework, check it out and see what a too long of a short film feels like.
Yeah.
And I was told when I made the film, this is too long. You need to cut it down. We actually cut it down from 40 pages to about 28 pages. Thankfully, I had a good buddy who really helped me through that production and through post but most importantly through the initial writing of the screenplay. I got to go back and do rewrites that I thought were really constructive, but still it was too long. And a couple of notes here. Both of my sons are actually in that film. If you have seen my feature, or you've heard of my feature, if you've listened to the podcast before, Madison Baker was here. The young actor who plays Cassie Gordon in Madison Baker was here, is the lead in A Special Place. And A Special Place is kind of, you know what? It's actually a great Halloween short to watch.
Oh, yeah,
there's some
kind of fun.
It's a supernatural thriller kind of family-friendly drama.
Yeah.
There is some very dark stuff that happens unexpectedly. But it's not something...
It's not gory.
No, none of that. I do try to make it scary. Speaking of things you should cut from your film, but what I'm trying to tell everyone is, kill your darlings, cut this down. I watch it now and I'm like, oh, I know how this could be a much better 10, maybe 12 if I really indulge myself, minute film where it ends up, it's like 29 minutes. But if you want some extracurricular homework, go watch that. Comment back on this YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube, or email me at hello@IndieEyeFilmAwards.com and say, that sucked.
Here's what I would cut.
Here's what I would cut. There's plenty there that I think I would cut. And at the time, you couldn't have convinced me of it.
No.
Even though I did believe my friend who was telling me this needs to be shorter. I 100% understood him and believed him, and I still wouldn't do it. But fast forward, 8 years now? And ish, is that right? 8-ish?
6. Yeah. Wait.
No.
Yeah.
2014.
Oh. Whoa.
Yikes. I definitely see it now. So just as it's all about, I guess, maturing as a filmmaker. But I'm not saying that people who make 30, 40-minute shorts are doing the wrong thing.
No, not at all. But a lot of times that length of a film is filled with stuff that doesn't need to be there.
Ultimately, yeah.
Yeah, and if it isn't, then it's a great length for a short film that could have been a 90-minute film that they were able to cut down to 30 and really compact it. But you don't get that a lot. You get a lot of fluff. You get a lot of
right
frames and scenes that just take up space.
Well, going back to this gentleman who submitted 3 projects, and number 1, thank you.
I mean, wow,
sir.
3 projects.
Thank you for sharing with IndieEye. We did watch them, and there was discussion had about them. I'm not going to speak any further about them in this episode, so you're free to shut us off now. But I will say that I hope you continue to create and work on your craft, because someone who can complete and submit 3 things, that's impressive.
Yeah.
You're already passing, a lot of people many people up. But these just didn't make it for us this month. So there is that. Now we'll move on to a uncomfortable pause here. Your podcast is still working. It's just that Matt is trying to figure out what to say. A submission. That's me trying not to edit later, because usually I edit that stuff out to make your listen better, but I'm not now this month because I'm being selfish with my time. We received a submission directed by, and stand by, Yifan Shang, who is also the he was the director, cinematographer, and he created Manchukuo 1943 Summer. And this is set in, it's set, what I don't understand is we've got 1943 in the title, 1945 in our little synopsis here. But this is 1945 Manchuria. A young Manchurian huntress tries to steal a rifle from an injured Imperial Japanese soldier. This was a fantastic film. And what stands out is the image quality. It's absolutely beautiful. It's the camera work is used to also tell the story. It's not only just beautiful cinematography, but it's used well to tell the story. And I was engaged the whole time. And I want to congratulate director and cinematographer Yifan Zhang for winning Best Cinematography of October of 2022.
Yay!
And how's that for another awkward pause? Okay, so yeah. All right, here's what I want to talk about. Okay, so, man, cover letters are meant to be short introductions for what you've submitted. Overviews are meant to give us a short feel for what the project is about. And I would also recommend to indie filmmakers, when you're doing these overviews, you got to write them as a synopsis. 1, 2, 3 sentences, maybe.
Yeah. If I just read all about your movie, well, why am I gonna watch it?
Yeah, I would suggest don't tell me what the character thinks or is going through.
Yeah, or what happens.
And that doesn't necessarily apply to what I'm about to talk about. But I'm just saying, overall, make it short. Make me go, I want to see that. So you're almost asking a question.
Yeah.
Right? Like
you're like explaining the concept.
Jack sneaks out for a night on the town. What does he discover about himself? Or what?
Yeah. What does he get into?
Don't tell me the things he gets into really makes him reconsider his life's choices, specifically what type of coffee he likes to drink in the morning on Tuesdays. These are just information we don't need. Just make us intrigued and ready to go. Set me up to watch it. It's a setup. Set me up to watch it. Don't give me the whole thing. But we received a best documentary submission by Felix Stark, and I wish my last name was Stark.
Dude, he's a cool name. I like his whole thing.
And the title is Step by Step. And see what I had to do here, because Felix wrote a novel in the cover letter, but then we had no overview that really told me what I needed. I ended up going over to IMDb to find this synopsis. A testament to the immense complexity of nature and family, already a lot of words, Step by Step follows two dreamers, one of them pregnant, and a dog. You got me at dog.
Yeah, I'm watching.
On an odyssey to bring harmony to their lives and the land surrounding them. The pregnancy of Valentina leads to a lot of unanswered questions for the two, so they decide to leave to, and I'm reading this verbatim, so they decide to leave to hectic life in Berlin and move to the countryside. Do you see where there's a lot of words there?
This is what you need as your storyboard for your trailer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's more to this, but it's just there's so many words here, and I'm gonna use this opportunity.
So many words.
I'm gonna use this opportunity because what am I here for today? I'm here to help indie filmmakers, and while I'm thankful that Felix Stark, who I wish his parents would adopt me so that I could be a Stark. Maybe I could just legally change my name.
You can do whatever you want.
His film is really well done. There's actually a lot here to enjoy, and we've linked his Instagram and the Facebook over at the winners page because, spoiler alert, Felix, Step by Step is our best documentary for October of 2022.
Yay!
But see, I would have rather have spent time talking about Felix's documentary as much as we possibly could without giving too much away.
Yeah, because it seems like a really cool.
But I want to educate, I want to teach, I want to give advice to indie filmmakers who may be listening, and that doesn't apply, and the documentary doesn't necessarily apply to them. Felix did a fantastic job on this documentary. Let me make sure you understand that.
Can people watch it?
They'll have to go to the Instagram and Facebook and ask how.
Okay.
So, I mean, and this is...
Sorry, I interrupted you.
I know.
Off topic.
You threw me off.
Sorry.
I just wish I could put my arm around every indie filmmaker who submits to us and go, look, do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
This sets you up in the right place.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like, I don't know if it's you cross that finish line of making a film.
Yeah, and you're exhausted.
You're done, man. Oh, man, you're done. But at least Felix gave us some social media to follow.
Yeah.
But let's change the cover letter, that length. Let's make a cover letter with a few sentences, salutations, what's interesting about your film, and thanks for the opportunity to submit. And then over on your overview, give me, no more than 5 sentences about your film. And then write something in your director's bio, not your life. Yeah. I don't care about all of that at this point.
And think about the difference in the film festivals. We are two humans that do care. We really do care about these filmmakers.
Wouldn't make the podcast if we didn't.
Right. And you've got other festivals that literally do not care. They are just looking to fill spots. So think about if we're willing to go to IMDb, look for extra information about you and talk to you about all this. What are the other filmmakers or other film festivals going to do? They are not going to read through all this stuff.
Nope.
So if you're going to submit to non-mom and pop shops, bigger festivals, you're not setting yourself up. And I just wanted to show that contrast or talk about that contrast.
And it's never too late to adjust that project page on Film Freeway. Wink, wink. In addition, and speaking of people who submit multiple times, but maybe the same project, we actually have a first here at IndieEye, I think. Pretty sure this is a first. We had an honorable mention back for September. A film that came in last minute. And there was some big competition last month in narrative feature, and it didn't quite make that. But my friend, he's technically not my friend.
You guys have never met?
No.
No? Okay, just checking.
There's no bias here. But,
I mean, I've known you for a long time, and I just wasn't sure if you have a new friend or not.
Well, Trayvon Williams, and he goes by Trey, so I'm going to call him Trey from here on out. Trey Williams last month submitted Armstrong, which was an honorable mention. I'm going to fix my microphone here. Okay. And this month, he went ahead and submitted again.
Same project.
Because I had mentioned, this would have been a great narrative feature, blah, blah, blah. But he did submit for, I'm sorry.
Okay. You just said it.
Dang it. You know what? I'm going to leave this in. This is how it goes, folks. This is just the raw IndieEye struggle. Trey Williams submitted Armstrong. And to recap, it's and listen to this synopsis, will ya? Free convict Armstrong struggles to start over, causing him to rob on his first day out. This, along with a rival fatal love affair and his friend's gang affiliation, could cause him a lot more than a trip back to jail. Now, what I know from experience is that writing, producing, directing feature films is really hard. It's really, really, really hard when it's an indie film and so much is on your plate to make something good. And I just see so much potential here with Trey Williams and this particular film, Armstrong. And is this a perfect indie film? No. It's got
flaws.
It's got a low budget. There's some audio mix things that I have a problem with, specifically with sometimes with the music. The music is just really, it's not mixed well in with the final product. And I understand the limitations of that if you're not just an audiophile, if you're not this sound design junkie, which I like to pretend that I am. There's still so much I don't know about sound mixing, but I do my best. But it tells a wonderful story. Well, it tells a realistic story, tells it well. There are some really cool cinematography choices, some really cool directing choices, and just what I get from Armstrong and what I get from Trey Williams is the love he must have for filmmaking and the true passion that must exist within him when it comes to trying to get all of this together and do everything well, from production design to costuming to individual characters, dialogue, the writing, everything. I see all of the promise there. And I know that whatever Trey Williams makes next is going to be better than the last thing he made. He's just one of those kind of directors. So last month, Armstrong got an honorable mention from us. This month, Trey Williams and Armstrong get Best Narrative Feature.
Yay!
And Trey Williams also receives Best Director.
Yay!
So congratulations to everyone. And there were a lot of people involved in making Armstrong. I really hope, Trey sends something else to us really soon, because obviously I love the man's work. Now, moving on to another person I really enjoy, and he actually helped me out this morning by emailing me quickly so that I'd know how to pronounce his name.
Nice.
Hold on, let me read this again so I understand. Okay, all right. Now, if he's listening, he knows who I'm talking about. Jordan, how are you doing out there? We received a submission from Jordan. I'm still going to mess this up. Manlagnet. Jordan Manlagnet. See, if I was editing this podcast, I'd go back and redo this whole thing. But Jordan Manlagnet sent us a very fun narrative feature film, which I enjoyed. And damn it, Jordan, it's too long.
It's too long.
but
I watched every minute of it.
It's fun, and this is kind of I'm really impressed on how you got me to watch a 41-minute short, I believe.
Me too.
I love the comedy, the unexpected comedy that you had in this. I mean, gosh, you really could have submitted for best comedy, and it kind of plays as a like a web series.
Like a sitcom.
I like we could have executively decided to put it as best web series.
Because it did have the episode 1 kind of thing part of it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute.
What?
We don't have a best web series
Submission?
entry.
Oh.
But let's talk about this a little later. What I want to talk about now for dual enrollment, which is the short that Jordan Menlagnet, did I get that right?
Yeah.
Submitted to us, is that it's got this fun cast.
I was impressed.
These people were so fun to watch, and they
Yeah.
delivered really well, which
Yeah.
tells me that you're choosing good people to be in your projects, Jordan, but it also tells me that you're a really good director because you knew what you wanted and you got that out of your actors. So we have given dual enrollment best ensemble cast for October.
Yay!
And I think we're going to talk about, we'll just talk about dual enrollment and Jordan Menlagnet a little more.
You're getting real
later
comfortable
on.
with that.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Good job.
Now, speaking of actors, here's some S for you. I'm in a jovial mood here.
Wow.
We received
happening?
a submission for Best Actor. And it's not even, I don't know what it is. It plays more like a trailer or even kind of an actor's reel, what an actor would submit to, to any casting company or casting directors or anything. It's like a minute 46 seconds long.
Oh.
But I thought this individual was really good in it.
Okay.
But here's the kicker, folks. What this person did was write a cover letter and name who he was nominating as Best Actor. He was the only one
Wow.
in the Best Actor category
proud.
to actually do that. And since he did follow the rules,
All of them.
and it was a quality submission.
Yeah.
Rex Dane, who submitted Shiva, is our Best Actor of October.
Yay.
Now look, there's no poster. I have nothing to share. There's no images.
No.
I can't even share a picture of him with you. There's no social media. You won't know who he is. Maybe I made him up. You're not going to find him, I guess.
So is he not going on the winner's page? What's up with
We
that?
can put his name there.
I guess so.
But since he has absolutely zero images or social or anything on his project page, Rex Dane might as well be a ghost.
Seriously.
But he did win Best Actor. And I thought, hey, Rex, if you're listening, the performances in the clips combined in this submission were really good. I'd love to see you in something, man. Send anything else our way. But again, he followed the rules and submitted something of quality.
Yeah. So cool.
I'm starting to get a little pissy about it because, I want to like these people. You got people who were in full-on feature films, had to give performances and everything. But when you submit Best Actor, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You got 12 people in your film.
Right.
Am I just supposed to pick somebody?
I know that's kind of what it feels like. Well, I'm not going to watch it and then just decide for myself who's the best.
We had a submission that was singularly for Best Supporting Actor. Somebody submitted a film for Best Supporting Actor. Multiple people in the film, no cover letter, no indication.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm just as a director myself, I'm thinking, so here's something I made. And you know what's really good in it? The supporting actor. Nothing else. It's not a good film. I'm a terrible director.
The sound sucks.
Sound sucks. Cinematography sucks.
But this one person
But this person
deserves the award.
Here's the twist. I'm not going to tell you who it is.
It's like the IRS. You tell us.
Yeah. So
And then we'll let you know if you're wrong.
So there is no Best Supporting Actor
Ooh,
because it's all right. You gave me no names, people. What do you want me to do? Now, okay. Let me talk a little bit more about some stuff I did like though. Holy smokes. We received well, first of all, kudos to everybody who submitted for Best Horror in October. I'm impressed. There were some impressive submissions. And quite an abundance of submissions for horror, which
Makes sense. It's
that's
October.
Awesome. I'm
Yeah.
so glad people had this type of stuff to submit for October. Just, kind of, I dig it. Now, we had only one horror that was a short, though. And, man, here's the power of making a short and making a good short. Because we received a submission directed by James Abrams called A Tiger in the Subway. And this is about an agoraphobic painter reflects on an old white lie his mother told him as a child. That's it. There's your synopsis. And it's a short film.
I'm like, ooh, what's the white lie?
So it sets it up. It makes me want to click and watch this. It didn't tell me all about the scenes
they went
and the
through.
years and the towns he lived in and what type of paints he likes to use and the square footage of his apartment. And I mean, so
You're going to start making me snort laugh. Don't do that. It happens.
but there is the director has a very brief director statement that I also want to read because I like this. So here's his statement. Completely without dialogue, only voiceover, A Tiger in the Subway influences story through performance, sound design, and neo-noir style narration. A Tiger in the Subway is a tribute to the complicated nature of being a New Yorker. Wonderful little bit there. He told me everything I needed to know going into this film. And A Tiger in the Subway, which, number one, we have a written review on the website right now from Dante Albane about this film. I have not read the review yet, but I do know via texts that Dante absolutely loved this film.
Yeah, the rating shows that he really loved it.
Okay, so I haven't seen that yet, but I know that he absolutely loved it. And it fell right in line with what I took away. I know that you were captivated by it as well.
Beautiful.
I mean, I can't say enough about it. I thought everything from sound design, cinematography, the acting was phenomenal all the way through, which, says a lot about the actor, which says a lot about the director.
Yep.
Just a concise, wonderfully done story, always visually engaging, always visually interesting. I loved the camera movements. I loved the choice at the end with the panning down. I love the...
Is it a pan if it's down?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Or is it a tilt?
Wow. That's it. I quit. I
almost was like, I feel like that he would...
I need to take a minute.
R.I.P. Matt's ego.
I just, the amount of times I correct people on that was just karma serving me up right there.
Yep.
I said pan down.
You said pan down.
And I saw it in my head, too,
Yeah.
and I was like, there's something not right with that.
Yep.
It's a tilt down, folks.
It's a tilt. Yeah.
I sounded like everyone who is trying to... I sound like all my clients who try to direct the videos while I create them for them, and then do a pan up. Because the thing is, people, panning is side to side. Tilting is up and down.
That's the joke.
So... probably everyone listening knows that. So, and I wonder who out there was like, he said pan down. I can't even listen to this podcast anymore. How can I take this guy seriously? If you feel like this,
I just want to say though, I knew.
Thank you for correcting me. If I would have heard that when I listened back, I would have just...
You would have been mortified.
I'd have just been like, there's no episode in October. But I'm really taking away here from James Abrams. Being a phenomenal director, this is just such an impressive piece. I'd love to see everybody involved in A Tiger in the Subway do something in a narrative feature. I mean, just get everybody involved and tell me a story for longer. I mean, this is a short film that made me want to watch your longer work.
See, and that's what a short film's supposed to do.
Right.
It really should make you... I mean, it should be a complete story, obviously. But the fact that you want more once it's done... That's a sign of, number one, just a great story. And you can really obviously do that with any length, but make it concise. Don't make me wait around for shit to happen.
And I want to say specifically about a particular revealing sequence. I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to give things away about these plots. But there was a specific sequence, moment, shot, great use of shadow, great use of tension that really harkened back to The Village. Yeah, I guess, gosh, that's all I could say. But
Which people hate on, and it's one of my favorite M. Night movies because I loved the twist.
Really off topic, but okay, but here's the thing: there was no twist.
Yes,
that was telegraphed right from the beginning.
It wasn't for me.
Here we go. Now, it's a beautiful film. Well acted.
Really is.
Shyamalan is one of my favorites. Early Shyamalan, one of my favorites.
I just feel like people hate on
what
that.
I'm trying to say
I'm
about
sorry.
James
I'm
Abrams'
sorry.
work in A Tiger in the Subway is that the use of shadows and kind of keeping the scary things obscured really worked really well. So just congratulations to everyone involved with A Tiger in the Subway. If I haven't mentioned it yet, your best horror for October of 2022.
Yay!
And did I need gore in this? No. Did I need excessive blood and things like that? No. But the tension is from the beginning through the end and does so many wonderful things. And we've linked all the things we can over at the winners page at IndieEyeFilmAwards.com. We've linked a website and Instagram and Facebook over there. So give everything a follow. Go check it out. See how... I don't know how you can watch this film. It's going through the circuit right now, but I would definitely follow the work of these people. Now, let's get back to my man, Jordan Manlagnet.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yep.
Jordan's laughing at me right now.
I'm sure this is not the first time someone's butchered his last name.
And he tried to help me so well. But
He did a good job of explaining it.
Thankfully, he got back to me fast because I was going with something completely different.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's so. Yeah. Thank you for communicating with us here at IndieEye. Now I could go back and forth with a couple of things here. With Dual Enrollment, which we talked about earlier, won Best Ensemble Cast, a short film that Jordan created and that I adore. He could have won Best Web Series if he put it in there. And I think this actually might, if he has opportunities to submit this, because of the way he presented it.
Yeah.
I think if he has opportunities to submit this as a best web series in other festivals, he should, because competing with a 41-minute narrative short is tough. Mm-hmm. So my advice to him is to look for those opportunities to actually win in that category in other festivals. You know, my advice. However, and let me read the synopsis here for Dual Enrollment. A 16-year-old boy enrolls into college to escape the toxicity of high school, but is still torn between the two worlds he lies between. And there's a little bit more here that I also want to read because I thought this was good and that it helps. Jake is a sophomore in high school that loves to hang out with his friends and vlogs every moment with them. But that all changes when he decides to start dual enrollment at his local community college. He ultimately decides to leave high school forever. And with his new life as a 16-year-old college student, Jake learns to balance his friendships and his yearning to find a girlfriend by going out with multiple girls, which is fun to watch. Dude, the wig moment.
Yeah,
for
that
me
was funny.
So
I was like,
okay.
wow, he's really going for it. All right, that's commitment.
That's the type of comedy I just love. It was just all out.
Very reminiscent of
fearless.
You and your friends.
This is fearless filmmaking, and I love it. I love the passion that just comes through the screen, even though it's longer than it should be.
Yeah.
All the passion is there. And I'm going to read a little bit about Jordan himself. Jordan Manlagnet is a young Filipino-American filmmaker based in the Los Angeles area. He attended Cal State Northridge and Long Beach City College to study film and TV production. He has previously worked for Technicolor's commercial CGI division, The Mill. He also has a background in social media management and curation. Dual Enrollment is the debut narrative project of his career. Jordan, if this is your debut, I cannot wait
Seriously.
to see what else you did, because Dual Enrollment is our best narrative short for October of 2022.
Yay!
I'm letting the moment sink in there.
Okay, good.
I imagine the confetti's
Fanfare,
coming down from Jordan's ceiling.
He's crying. Yeah.
He's picking up his award.
Yeah, he's thanking
of
everyone.
some sort. And he's walking down the aisle going, me? Oh, no. Oh, but no, Jordan, great job. We received a ton of short films this month. And there are some honorable mentions that we're going to talk about next. But the quality of everything was really, really high. Now, there was certainly submissions we are not talking about on the podcast because there's only, I've only have so much time in my life. But I think from the top of the podcast, I give the best advice I can. If your film wasn't mentioned in this podcast, excuse me, I try to address the overall advice at the top of podcasts, of episodes, before we even get into the categories. If I see a common theme of problems, I do try to address them. So if you submitted and you didn't hear anything, you didn't win, but maybe you were an official selection, maybe you were not selected, I hope you still listen to the podcast and listen to all the episodes, because we're talking about, your peers and your fellow filmmakers and this giant pool of submissions that we receive. I address the common problems over and over.
Because they're problems that everybody faces.
Right.
They really are.
Exactly. And that's, audio quality you always hear me talk about. Your short is too long is a thing. Character development.
Yeah.
So
payoffs.
Hopefully some bonus episodes of IndieEye Film Awards will help you with your character development.
Ooh.
And go listen to Beyond the Screenplay as a podcast.
Feeling like there's some hints and clues
there.
here.
So let me talk about some honorable mentions, and then we'll get the heck out of everyone's way. So we received a submission by Joshua Nelson called The Things We Cannot Change. And if we had a category for best title, Joshua Nelson would win for The Things We Cannot Change. When I saw that title, I went, damn it. I don't even care what a movie's about. That's a title I want. I don't, for some reason, I just really like it. But the point of this film is a group of desperate vampires search for a way to stop their addictive lifestyle.
Yeah, you had me at vampires.
Yeah, well, this was one of the horrors that was submitted to us, and it's a feature-length film. It is shot very well. The acting is... there's some woodenness to it, but I would say...
They're vampires.
Well, yes.
They're made of stone.
Stone?
Yes. They're like ice and stone.
It's hard to walk that way.
Well, they still got, I don't know how the joints work.
Give birth to a stone baby?
They're like, cold and ice and...
But what I'm saying,
Listen, it's vampires.
What I want to say to Joshua and the people involved in The Things We Cannot Change is this: the care and love for this project absolutely came through. And I love the premise. I loved the look of it, and the sound was very good too. I thought, man, the premise with kind of what they're doing is making this analogous to addiction.
Oh, got
These
it.
vampires, they're lusting after blood, and it's done as if it's a
disease.
It's an addiction.
Yeah.
So I love that, and I love the work done here. But in the world in which I need to find the best story told the best way, for best horror this month, It was a different direction for this particular competition. But Joshua Nelson should be very proud of The Things We Cannot Change. And he is The Things We Cannot Change is an honorable mention for us this month. Another horror that we received was called Ravage Nation, which is actually a sequel to this director's first entry in this, Ravage. But this was directed by Michael Moutsatsos. Here we go. Sorry, Michael. Moutsatsos. Michael Moutsatsos, I'm guessing, is the director here, and he's the creator of Ravage Nation. And the premise here is in 2036, the CV5 virus is born. Mothers give birth to hybrid mutations. A mere bite or scratch can turn you into zombies. What I love here is that Michael made a feature film, did the whole thing, and I'm quite often impressed by anybody who can do that. And that's what Michael did, and it deserves honorable mention. The rest of what I will say is completely subjective and just coming from me personally. The virus, the zombies, it's been done a million times. So if you're not incredibly fresh take
it's hard.
It's hard to compete. I mean, for me, it's hard to beat a zombie movie like a 28 Days Later. Or for me, I'm a huge fan of World War Z. I freaking love that movie. Of course, I'm also a Brad Pitt fanboy, but just in the indie genre, kind of, sort of indie, the 28 Days Later is just, it's the high bar for me. And, post-apocalyptic virus zombies, I just feel like I've seen it 1,000 times.
There's really only so many ways you can do that show that.
Right.
It's in video games. It's a very saturated storyline.
And I don't, I'm not taking anything away from Michael and his efforts and everybody involved. I think having made Ravage and Ravage Nation, that's super impressive. And Michael knows what he's doing. This guy's got films under his belt. He's going to make more stuff that's great. But in, October's competition, Ravage Nation is an honorable mention for us. So great job to Michael and his crew and his actors for getting that together. Couple more things I want to talk about. We received an entry from China called Brilliance, directed by Junjie Tang, about two high school girls have an argument about their feelings and dreams and get caught up in the vortex of memories. Okay. This is two girls.
Yep.
Painting.
Yep.
And it's beautiful.
It is, the lighting and the cinematography is fan-frickin-tastic. I think what kept me watching is just wanting to see the next frame. Yeah.
The next clip. Because, and actually, I've asked Ray to not only use their poster, but post an image from the film that they have on their Film Freeway project page so that we could share an image from the film just to show you like one of my favorite frames from this film. So that's there for reference. But Brilliance is an honorable mention for us. And I don't think we've received anything from China that wasn't absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Yes.
The filmmakers, young filmmakers in China are just delivering
Quality.
super high quality.
Yeah.
Kind of like their life and freedom depends on it. But it's just really good stuff. But then we also received a South Korean submission called Shinjiki, the Mermaid Who Predict the Future, directed by Chae-woon Park and Young-min Choi. And if I'm saying those names wrong or backwards, forgive my naivete regarding the culture and the names. But this is also a beautiful short film, and it's set in 329 AD. Well, it's a fantasy romance drama about a man who falls in love with a mermaid who does predict the future. And I will say that the cast was so fun to watch. The cinematography was beautiful, but just the shot choice, the blocking, the movements they did with the camera and the movement of the actors, all very well handled. So it's like a really good director or duo of directors was in charge here. And Shinjiki is an honorable mention for us, and just another beautiful foreign film. Hey, United States indie filmmakers, let's up our game. Let's try to catch up to South Korea and China on this. Gosh, and we've had just beautiful things from Italy and Germany.
Yeah.
Cinematography will take you a long way. But hey, your sound is more important. Don't let me get away from that. Have good sound, which they did. So that'll wrap up the honorable mentions. That will wrap up the October episode of IndieEye. And just to recap, check out the Caleb Pike
bonus episode.
Bonus episode. Thank you. Now I'm tired. That will drop on November 2nd.
Yep.
We have fun bonus episodes coming in December.
Yep.
To reiterate, in December, we will not have a monthly competition episode.
Right.
But we will be open for...
and we won't have a monthly competition, not just the episode.
Right. Yes, let's be clear. So in December, restating this, we will not have an episode of IndieEye. I'm just... Good Lord. Good Lord.
Listen.
You see why I generally edit these episodes? Yes. So in December, IndieEye will not have a December competition for 2022.
Right.
We will have our annual awards.
Yes.
We will have our annual awards episode. We will have some additional bonus episodes. In addition to that, the Caleb Pike, DSLRvideoshooter.com bonus episode will drop on Wednesday, November 2nd.
Okay.
And for further housekeeping, beginning in December, we will be open for submissions for January of 2023.
Right.
So you will be able to submit, but if you submit during December, you'll be submitting for January's competition.
Yep.
So you can get an early start into submitting for January. So we'll have the annual, not the monthly, just because it's a ton of work, and two, we have a bit of vacation due to us.
Yes, we do.
In December. So we're taking advantage. But gosh, thank you all for submitting and sharing and coming along with us on the podcast and continuing to grow this community of indie filmmakers. The obligatory please like, please subscribe, follow us on Instagram at IndieEye Film Awards.
Places.
And you can check out the winners page at IndieEyeFilmAwards.com. Check out the written review for A Tiger in the Subway.
Yeah.
Anything else, Dre?
I think that's it.
All right.
Happy fall, y'all.
If you'd like your project discussed on the podcast, go to IndieEyeFilmAwards.com and submit to our open monthly competition. Find us on Instagram and YouTube. IndieEye Film Awards. Thanks for listening to this episode of IndieEye.
Wendy, darling, light of my life. You're listening to the IndieEye Film Awards podcast, actually. These are all jokes. Like, obviously, do not use any of these. Like, the ones that I actually say the line, use those. But, I hope that you get a kick out of listening to this stuff.